They built 96 houses on my land. Not by mistake, on purpose. Streets, lights, mailboxes, families moving in. All sitting on the property my grandfather left me. When the HOA president called me a squatter, I smiled, said nothing, and let them finish construction, before I walked into court with the original deed. My name's Dakota Flint, 47 years old, divorced, 2 kids in college, and I drive a beat-up Silverado that leaks oil like a crime scene. There's only one thing special about me. 47 acres of Colorado forest my grandfather left me when he passed. He bought it in 1971, paid cash, no mortgage, no liens. Every fence post, every tax receipt, every letter carefully stored in his old leather ledger that smelled like pipe tobacco. When he died, the deed came with a note folded inside. Don't let the bastards take what's yours. At the time, I didn't understand what he meant. I paid my taxes every April, $6,400, always on time. Life was busy, divorce papers, overtime at work, tuition bills. I hadn't visited the land in 3 years. It was supposed to stay untouched like his memory. But in August, I decided to drive up, scatter his ashes, and see the place again. I remember thinking on that 2-hour drive, this is going to feel like home again. I had no idea I was driving straight into a nightmare. When I turned off Highway 36, I expected pine trees. Instead, I found paved streets, concrete sidewalks, mailboxes, families unloading moving trucks. A carved stone entrance read Ridgeline Heights, a Whitmore luxury community. My land. I pulled over, double-checked the GPS, same coordinates as always. I sat there frozen until a security guard knocked on my window. Residents only, sir. I own this property, I said. My grandfather bought it. He smirked. Sure, buddy. And I'm Elon Musk. Before I could argue, a white Range Rover rolled up. Out stepped Cassandra Whitmore, mid-50s, expensive everything, and an expression that said she'd never heard the word no. What seems to be the problem? She asked the guard, not even looking at me. This man claims he owns the development, he said. She finally turned, eyes sweeping over my work boots and jacket like I was dirt. Oh, she said sweetly. Looking for construction work? Crews are full, but I can take your number. I held up my phone with a photo of the deed. Not looking for work. I own this. Her smile froze. That land was abandoned. We acquired it through adverse possession. My lawyer confirmed it. So unless you want to be arrested for trespassing, leave. Then she snapped a picture of my license plate and said, "People like you don't win against people like us." That sentence burned through my brain the entire drive home. Because she was wrong. She just didn't know it yet. The next morning, her attorney called. His assistant's tone was sugary enough to rot teeth. "Mr. Flint, my client would like to offer a nuisance settlement. $15,000 if you'll sign a quitclaim deed and move on. $15,000 for land worth $4 million. I laughed. Tell your client I'll see her in court. But truth was, I didn't have a lawyer. My divorce attorney handled custody schedules, not property theft. I spent the night scrolling through law forums until my friend Marcus in Cheyenne texted me one name. Lydia Chun. He said, she once beat a railroad company, so bad they offered her a job to make her stop. Her consultation cost $500. I paid it and prayed she was worth every penny. Lydia's office smelled like old books and lemon polish. She was in her 60s, gray hair tied back, calm eyes that missed nothing. When I finished telling her everything, she said only 4 words, "Show me your tax receipts." I slid the folder across her desk. Every payment since 2019, digital and printed copies. She flipped through them, nodded slowly. Adverse possession in Colorado requires 18 years of continuous occupation and payment of taxes by the squatter. You've paid every year. Their claim is dead. So we stop construction? I asked. She leaned back. No, we let them finish. I stared. What? If we stop them now, they'll declare bankruptcy. You'll be stuck in litigation for years, fighting banks, buyers, insurance companies. But if you let them finish, you'll own 96 completed homes. Their fraud becomes undeniable. It's chess, not checkers. I swallowed. That'll cost me everything I have. She smiled faintly. When we win, and we will, they'll pay for everything, including my fee. As I left her office, she called after me. And Mr. Flint, don't post, don't brag, don't warn them. In property law, surprise is worth gold. So I did nothing. For months. Except watch them build their empire on my soil. By October, the development was buzzing. Painters, electricians, landscapers. I parked on a public road, filming from my truck. 2 weeks in, Cassandra noticed. She made a phone call, and 20 minutes later a deputy knocked on my window. She says you're harassing her, he muttered. I'm documenting construction on my land. He sighed. If she calls again, I'll have to take action. Translation. She donates to his campaign. I don't. Then came the letters, fake code violations, false dumping complaints. Someone even called the county claiming I was running an illegal junkyard. On social media, Cassandra posted my photo, called me a dangerous squatter. People I knew for years stopped talking to me. My boss placed me on leave until things settled. One night, someone spray-painted pervert on my garage door. My daughter called crying, asking if I'd done something wrong. I hadn't. I was just fighting a rich woman who thought laws were optional. And that night, standing under the hiss of a police camera flash, I swore I wouldn't stop until every nail on that land was mine again. Lydia's strategy was simple. Document everything. So I did videos, emails, phone logs. Meanwhile, she dug into public records. Whitmore Development was registered in Delaware. Classic shell tactic. Financing came from Ridgeline Capital Group, owned by Cassandra's husband, Preston Whitmore. Preston had been sued twice for fraud. Both cases settled quietly. Then we hit gold, county permits showing they'd filed an adverse possession claim but never got a court judgment. They just started selling lots immediately. Illegal. Weeks later, a former partner of Preston's sent Lydia an email. An internal memo dated before construction. It said, "The Flint parcel is not abandoned. Taxes current. Risk moderate, reward high. Build fast, sell faster. He'll never afford to fight." When Lydia read it, she actually laughed. They wrote the confession themselves. We had them, proof they knew it was my land and built anyway. But Lydia warned me, the closer we get to trial, the dirtier they'll play. She was right. January. Federal Courthouse, Boulder County. I'd never worn a suit that tight or hands that sweaty. Cassandra sat across from me in a cream blazer, her smile sharp enough to cut glass. Her lawyer, Keir, filed a motion to dismiss at 4:57 p.m. the night before. Lydia called it a cheap trick. The judge wasn't amused. Keir started talking about abandoned property and adverse possession, sounding smooth, until the judge interrupted. Did Mr. Flint pay taxes? Keir hesitated. Yes, but then your claim fails under statute, she said flatly. Lydia stood. Your Honor, this isn't confusion. It's fraud. She handed over the internal email. The judge read silently, then looked up, furious. Counselor, did your clients know about this? Keir's face drained color. Your Honor, Motion denied. The judge snapped. This case goes to trial. And until then, Whitmore Development ceases all sales or transfers. She turned to Cassandra. And one more thing. Any further harassment or online posts, and you'll be in contempt. For the first time, Cassandra didn't look untouchable. She looked afraid. As we walked out, Lydia whispered, that email was the grenade. Now we bring the artillery. 2 weeks later, the real battle began. News vans lined the courthouse steps. Homeowners filled every seat. People who'd bought those houses in good faith, terrified they'd lose them. Lydia opened with a line I'll never forget. This isn't about property. It's about power and what happens when ordinary citizens say no. She laid out everything. My grandfather's deed, 50 years of tax receipts, photos of me paying property taxes, the fraudulent filings, the bribes. The title company's rep admitted taking $45,000 under the table. Code Officer Rick testified Cassandra had filed false reports on other projects. Deputy Torres confirmed her harassment complaints were fake. Then Lydia called Preston Whitmore. He lasted 40 minutes before unraveling. Every answer contradicted the last. Sweat soaked his collar. Finally she asked, "Mr. Whitmore, did you or did you not know Mr. Flint paid property taxes on that land?" He stared at the table. "Yes." Gasps filled the room. Cassandra refused to testify, pleading the fifth. When Lydia finished, even the judge looked shaken. "I'll issue my ruling tomorrow," she said. That night I barely slept. My kids texted nonstop. "You're going to win, Dad." I wanted to believe them, but I'd learned justice doesn't come easy. It's earned. Next morning, the courthouse was silent as the ruling began. The judge's words hit like thunder. The defendants engaged in a deliberate scheme to defraud Mr. Flint through false filings, bribery, and intimidation. She granted me full ownership of the 47 acres, including all 96 homes. She awarded $4.2 million in damages and referred the Whitmores for criminal prosecution. I should have felt triumphant. Instead, I looked at the homeowners in the gallery, teachers, nurses, parents. They weren't villains. They were victims too. So a month later, I called a town meeting inside the unfinished clubhouse Cassandra promised them. I told them, "You bought homes in good faith. I won't punish you for her crimes." I transferred ownership of every house into a community trust. Each family kept their home for what they'd already paid. No banks, no extra costs. The applause that followed was louder than any verdict. Grandpa's land finally belonged to good people again. I kept 5 acres at the north edge, the untouched pines where Grandpa once fished. Built a small cabin there, nothing fancy. With Lydia's help, I started the William Flint Memorial Scholarship, $10,000 each year for Colorado students studying engineering or forestry. Every time I sign the scholarship letters, I think about that note Grandpa left. "Don't let the bastards take what's yours." He was right. What's mine isn't just land. It's proof that ordinary people can still win against corruption.